All right, Pot of Gold, welcome back. I'm Brett. I'm here with Mike Grant, the intern, in an undisclosed location, still behind glass. Don't worry. I don't even know what the score was. Probably should have looked that up before we started. 40
40
to
to 13.
13.
Yeah.
40 to 13. LSU loses to Tennessee pretty handily. Hit us up on Twitter at Pot of Gold, at Gold Mike, not Eamon Targaryen, at Gold Mike. Email potofgold@gmail.com. All that fun stuff. Where are we starting?
Dude, what a wild weekend, right? I mean, just talk about a bummer to start the day.
Hey, we're
Uh,
not Oklahoma.
we are not Oklahoma. We're
There
not
was
Oklahoma.
a terrible moment, and I know you're East Coast, so it's a little different, but I felt like I had been watching football all day and been awake all day, and I looked and it was like 1:10. And I was like, "This is a fucking nightmare." It was
Yeah,
a long
I
day.
had other things happening that evening, so I woke up early as well to make sure that I got as much football in as possible, and that included game day, just the whole theme of the day. I
Too
do
bad
want to,
Kansas couldn't pull one out
yeah,
there, huh?
yeah, it was rough. It was
It was
rough.
unfortunate, like, that's what pissed me off the most is that I had to watch this fucking shit LSU game while Kansas TCU was just playing like an all-timer for, like, non-consequential, Big 12 games.
I tell you what, man, being here in Raleigh, North Carolina State, Wolfpack, I mean, these guys are just fired up. Like
Big game this weekend.
they're really fired up. I do want to preface this podcast by saying, for whatever reason, I just can't stop calling Anthony Richardson Sheldon.
Cody Dickerson. Oh.
Sheldon. I don't know why. So this whole podcast, if I just continue to say Sheldon Richardson, just roll with it, please.
Yeah, no,
And we'll
I'm
put
fine to do you wanna just both do that? I can easily call him Sheldon Richardson for the rest of the
yeah,
night.
yeah,
Okay,
absolutely. Sheldon Richardson.
because
Uh,
yeah, that's fine.
Also, my name is not
People are gonna be
Aemon
so pissed.
Targaryen. Yeah, no, people are gonna, like, hop in the middle of the episode and be like, "These guys don't know the name. It's
No, we
ridiculous."
should definitely try to get some clips on, like, go viral on Florida's Twitter.
Yeah,
Hopefully, all right, let's not talk
for
about it
sure.
anymore. Yeah, Sheldon Richardson, but that's for later on in the episode.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I do wanna make it clear, Aemon Targaryen is the title of my little cube right here if you're watching on YouTube. I am wrapped up in a cape. It is a major theme in my household right now. House of Dragon is fire. Aemon Targaryen came out, his next generation character. I know this is kind of confusing to most people, but he looks just evil. Pretty crazy, pretty wild cat. I also don't know how to change the thermostat in this house, so I'm bundled up. It's a little chilly.
Winter
It
winter
feels
has
good.
arrived.
Yeah, it has, dude. Leaves are brown and red and gold. It's pretty sweet. But yeah, man, great month for football. Unfortunately, LSU not in the highlights of October. But I want to say this, man. I'm a rider. I'm still in. I'm bought in. I think this is part of the journey, man. This is part of the journey. Am I happy with how Brian Kelly has conducted this team and the preparation for this season? Culturally, yes. I think that the culture is changing in that locker room. I can tell the kids are paying attention to what they're supposed to be doing. They're on and off the field. It looks like they are bought in to what Brian Kelly and the staff is selling. On the field, no. On the field, I think that there is some shit that I'm not happy with. I feel like Brian Kelly and staff and company have maybe underestimated some of these teams that we're going up against, and we have not prepared our guys for just the X's and O's. The on the field execution is not there, and there was a number of coaching mistakes this game that I can't just stick up for Brian Kelly about how he coached and made a lot of decisions in this football game. Inside the locker room, how the culture is changing, he's the guy. And I fully believe that. And I'm behind it. This is part of the process. Can he do a better job on the field? Hell yes.
I don't even know like where to start because there's just so many things about like what you just said that I kind of want to comment on. But it's like you could tell that there was legitimate shock when he walked into that press conference and said, "This is surely not how we anticipated this day going." Like he thought, and I think that team thought that they were going to go in there and give it a game. And it's really strange to see where, everyone in the room kind of, I guess, feels like practice is going well. And then you get to the game and just totally not be able to execute. So it's really weird. And it's like, year one, I'm all down for you to give a pass. And I understand you're sitting up there at that podium, not throwing anybody, any coach, any specific player under the bus. Like, I get that's what you're doing. And I get it's year one and I'm ready to get a pass. But at some point, getting up there and saying, like, we have to coach better, like I have to do a better job of coaching is gonna fall on deaf ears. It's like, dude, you're getting paid a lot of money to be the better coach. And you've gotten out coached multiple times this year.
Yeah. Hey, are we in studio right now? Or are we in record only mode?
It says live.
Oh, it says say I don't see that. Okay, got it.
Yeah, no, I pulled the feed from YouTube to post on Twitter. So I mean, it's up.
Gotcha. Okay, we just have no one watching. All right.
Well, it's
There's
early.
there's two people.
We
I
didn't
guess
tweet
I
it
don't
out.
see this. I don't see this. You're right, dude. That's what was concerning to me. It was
200. I mean, 200 people.
It was
200,000.
kind of like thank you. It was kind of like a wake up call for him. Just like, oh shit, we need to do a lot better on the field and focused on the details to win these games. Like there's so many there. I mean, dude, we could go. There's a laundry list of things that went wrong from before kickoff. You've got Brian Kelly and Brian Polian just flipping shit on the sideline for Jack Besh to move to the other side of the field. And there was mass confusion. Like you got to think that rattled Besh a bit and he rushed that return. Like, I'm not saying that was the sole reason he fumbled, but why are we not prepared for that? You prepare all week, you scout special teams all week. How do you not know where to line up?
Well, and look, he had some explanation for it, whatever. But it's like the other guy back there was your punt returner for a game and a guy that you quote trust. It's like, why do we only have to have one? Like, why can we not have two of those guys back there and trust them to make the play? And just to kind of, I think, set the tone for what happened on Saturday, I think you do have to go back to Friday and understand and not make an excuse, but be able to rationalize that LSU lost their starting left tackle pretty suddenly on Friday.
Do we still not know what the hell's going on with Will Campbell?
I don't think that they know. And I think that's kind of the big issue. So, that's honestly how I feel. Hopefully they say he's passing tests.
Grant, what you got?
I think it was I heard it was a seizure.
Yeah. So the first thing I heard was he had an episode at practice earlier in the week. And they thought it was dehydration, whatever. I think that was just like some third-hand information. Episode is usually lingo for epileptic seizure. I remember in high school I had a teammate that had that same situation, and he could never play again. I was a freshman. You probably don't even remember. This was a senior.
Well, HIPAA, we do not name names.
But it was a very scary situation. Like, fire trucks, ambulance, the whole shebang. Sounded like it was a very quote unquote scary situation with Will Campbell. So like what Grant's mentioning, a seizure situation, I think that aligns with some of the rumors that have been floated around, especially keeping him for multiple days in the hospital. That's not dehydration, and running multiple tests. What scares me about that is that's possibly career ending,
right?
When we go into like a pure diagnosis of that.
Well, and it's like, obviously I just, kind of want to focus more on like the football LSU side of it. But no, I'm just saying it's something serious, and hopefully it's not serious. It's like, that's everyone's obviously wishing Will Campbell well, and like hopefully he can play football. It's like whatever. We just want the dude to get better. I just kind of mean like, it was kind of a big shock to your team rolling in there with your, you had to go through that episode on Friday, and then it's like Saturday. It's like, oh, hey, we're going to put this guy out here who's been playing guard most of the time. And like, not an excuse, but I'm just saying it kind of like this whole, like you said, started from the opening kickoff. For me, it started like Friday.
100%. And then Dellinger gets hurt. And so what you're left with, the only true like mainstay is a center that the only reason he's playing is because he's consistent in his snaps. But he needed that anchor of the left side to be there for him to be successful. And then you've got a transfer and a true freshman on the right side. So
and it will come back, and this will come back up when the Jaden Daniels discussion happens here in the next 20, 30 minutes. But just, I just kind of felt like It was obviously the special teams, like, right out the gate, but just the Will Campbell thing, I feel like needed to be mentioned in
No, and
that
it
beginning.
hasn't been mentioned enough. I know there's a plethora of excuses, for
Oh, I got
why
plenty of them.
yeah, for why we played so shitty. I mean, 11 o'clock to begin with. I mean, we're fucking walking through in the parking lot. I just hate all that shit. But,
Mhm.
um, you know, Tennessee has a bye week. We can get into all that. But Will
Right.
Campbell, your left tackle, your starting left tackle, going out the day before, like that news dropping. Obviously, the team had known that there was some, you know, some shakiness there. That's tough, and that's tough, I'm sure, for Jaden Daniels and his mindset going into it, being like, "Great, I've got Bradford, the cat that just got benched
Yeah.
on my blind side," and then all of a sudden you got Xavier Hill in there for Dellinger. Now you got Bradford and Dellinger back there who have no clue what's going on,
Yeah,
none, and
Bradford
that's
and Hill, but yes.
Bradford and Hill, sorry,
Yeah.
and that's coaching. Well, like, how does Brad Davis not have his backups put together and understand blitz pickup? I mean, you could just twist the entire time, and they were colliding
Yep,
into each other.
done.
Like, that's on-field coaching execution. Like, how are you not prepared for the blitz pickups of Tennessee? Tennessee's defense up to this point has been pretty suspect. Like, you
Yes.
should have been able to have perfect pass protection and move the ball down the field. And honestly, it was the same old bullshit. Here we go again. You get one guy out, and all of a sudden the whole fucking cookie crumbles. Like
Yep.
that. That's this season. Like, that is what we're going to deal with
We're
this season.
we're that last straw that's gonna break it. Like, anything that disrupts what little bit of momentum we had going completely collapses the house of cards. I completely agree, and I don't mean that in a bad way of, like, this team's terrible house of cards. It's just like, you can't really disrupt what we got going, or we're not gonna get going.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, ton to talk about with the Tennessee game, but just, like, in general, I think the most frustrating part for me watching that game is, like, I never felt like Tennessee came in and, like, just took it. Like, we really, it felt like, just, like, kept handing them opportunity after opportunity, and, like, I think Tennessee is gonna be able to put points up on Bama and score and be in that game this weekend, but I feel like I didn't even really get to see this, like, top 5 team come in and dominate, and as crazy as that sounds looking at the score, it just never, to me, felt like it was just this crazy beatdown from start to finish. It was, but it was more of, like, LSU saying, "Hey, would you like another one?"
Yeah, and good teams execute on those gifts. And I think that is what makes Tennessee a good team is if you're going to fumble on the 20, like, we're going to score a touchdown. You're not
Yep,
going to hold us to a
immediately.
field goal.
You're gonna turn it over on the 50, we're throwing it deep immediately.
Exactly. Like that, they took advantage of every opportunity. They didn't let any of that flounder. So that's what I like about Tennessee is that they do execute their job very well. Is it flashy? No. It's just they do their job. And Hooker's a dog. Like that,
Yeah.
he's very accurate. And he's got a great set of legs on him that he barely uses. He only uses out of necessity. So I think Tennessee and Alabama is going to be an excellent game. It's going to be a must watch for 2:30.
I mean, depending on the quarterback, I would take Tennessee.
100%. I mean, you know, that's me. I always pull for the underdogs here against Alabama, but like of all games
I
for
mean,
Alabama to go up to somebody and like if you're going to root and believe that Bama is going to lose a game this season, this is the one that you circle at home at Tennessee coming off a dominant victory against LSU. Bama being suspect all season, not suspect. They're fucking really good, but they
Bama
have
suspect.
yeah,
They're not the Bama we've seen.
but they're
Speaking of
still
kick the
like number one.
file, we need to remember Eli Ricks wants to come back, but we don't have to talk about that now.
Did he really say that?
No, I don't know. It was on Instagram.
Oh, tight.
He took all of his Bama stuff off. We'll talk about it unless you want to talk about it now.
Hey,
No.
whatever. Okay,
No.
He deleted all of his Bama stuff from Instagram and posted a picture of him in an LSU jersey.
Yeah, and it was
And-
like sometimes you have to go back to go forward type of bullshit quote. It wasn't bad.
That's why
it wasn't
Brett-
bad, but it was close.
That's why Brett wanted the
I didn't know the
dancing
context
video
of
with
that comment. Yeah.
Yeah, I really wanted, and I didn't do it
I
because I'm me.
No, I
I wanted-
tried. Well, I didn't try, but I was trying to figure out a way to make it like easy to make it happen, and it was getting too complicated.
I thought
Yeah,
that was just out of the blue. I thought Brett was just like, "This is a great idea."
I did too, but then I was like, okay, there's
it's not a
context.
great idea.
No,
It's
when he-
hilarious, but I didn't know where the Ricks thing came from. I was like, That's
I didn't
funny.
know. I didn't know, and so I was like, huh, That would be funny, but why is he saying that? So I just go on Twitter. I was like, Eli Ricks. All this stuff.
But yeah, he doesn't play.
I know, obviously. I don't care. I just, I just wanted, I think the funniest thing ever, and it would get like 4 likes, I'm sure. But the funniest thing on planet Earth would be to post Brian Kelly dancing with Eli Ricks. Like, I just, that would make me laugh for at least a month.
We have to do it.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
No idea how to, like, I don't know, Photoshop a GIF.
I also just want it to be like awful.
Yeah.
Like just like a block picture. Anyway, maybe we can,
or just draw his face. Just draw it. I mean, we can.
He's got long hair. Make it happen. I'm trying to find the best picture, like when Brian Kelly's doing like one of these, but it's so dark. If you go back and watch the video, it's like really dark, and then try to change the number to like Eli Ricks is number 1, I guess. And
then you can't spotlight. You can't spotlight that Kelly.
Or should it be Alabama jersey? With like him in an Alabama jersey.
See, now we're getting into like Farkboard territory. Like,
no, I can do it. It's just his face, and it's got to like move with the video, like,
just a little bit.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
Vindog. Vindog can do it.
All right, back on topic. So Tennessee, Tennessee is a good team. Tennessee is a good team.
Like, I'm just saying, like, I just didn't really feel like I got to fully see it, but like. It sucks thinking back on that game, like with all the shit that happened, everything, spotting them 10 points. If Jeray Jenkins catches that tipped ball, we're going into halftime 20-14.
That's what and that's what I was mentioning to Grant before.
It's nuts.
Is that there were so many points in this game where it's literally a 1-possession game, but you look at the final score and you're just like, oh man, Tennessee
didn't seem
close. It's like, no. Like we literally played so dog shit on the field in the decision making from these coaches, man. Like getting in position to kick that field goal. And I know hindsight's always 20/20, but time and place, man. I love the aggression from Brian Kelly. I love the trust he has in this team to convert on 4th down. But my man, you gotta think about the context and what is actually going on around you. Who knows when we're going to be in that red zone ever again? Like, get the points while you can.
Are you going to be able to score if you get the first down?
Right. Or it's a 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1. We run a 2 routes, like a fucking 2 posts, and then we decide on 4th down to go for it. And we just let the floodgates through and hand it off to Josh Williams. Like, the play calling is so bad. Like that. Listen, we have to do something better on offense.
It seems so vanilla though. Like we keep saying every week we're gonna see something, and like what was the trick play? A couple reverses.
Just remind you of anything?
Hand off to Kayshon Boutte.
Yeah, do you feel like we've seen this movie before?
Yeah. I mean, it's better than a double.
Yeah, but he also
went born in this movie.
But he also went through multiple coordinators, and there were a few years where it flashed a little bit.
And look, I'm sitting here agreeing with you, and then you listen to the post game with Hanny and Jeremy Hill, and Jeremy Hill's just sitting here saying,
Jeremy Hill's a hater.
Guys are open. And it's like, I wish I need to figure out the perfect way to like tweet at LSU Gold or whatever, LSU Sports at the perfect time to be like, put the all 22 on LSU Gold. But I need the perfect opportunity.
No, listen, Jaden Daniels can definitely. He has opportunities to make plays and that he's not making. But we have to understand by now that he's not going to do it. So change the offense. Figure out how to get this guy moving the ball quicker. Or I don't know. I don't get paid to figure that shit out. But obviously what you're doing now is not working because your guys can't execute it. Like they can't get it. So instead, I don't know. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's like, no, we're just going to keep on fucking trying because guess what? This is what we needed to ramp up the fucking details that we're going to pay attention to and grind out all week. And then guess what? We win one on the road against Florida and everyone's fucking happy again. And then we do this song and dance again against Bama. But
the roller coaster goes up and down. It's when you win, you're probably not as good as everyone says you are. And when you lose, you're probably not as bad as everyone's saying you are. I think we're just coming off the loss where it's like the world's burning.
But it's not. We're not there. No. This is part of that process.
I think
the process is the process.
The frustrating thing is the running game We're so used to seeing somewhat. Even last year, in the last 2 years, we figured out like as the season went on. Now it was about this time in those seasons where we were like, oh wow, we can run the ball.
We had to abandon it early because we decided to shoot ourselves in the foot with a fucking shotgun.
Yeah, but we have no ability to run the ball. We have 2 running plays.
We have right. I understand.
We have no creativity in the run game, is what I'm saying. But if you took Jaden Daniels' legs out, cut his numbers in half, it's putrid.
I understand that. But even with that being said, the week before we ran the football with just those 2 plays, but you couldn't even attempt that this game because you were already down by so much. You asked Jaden Daniels to do so much that he hasn't been able to do ever, and so you relied on it. Did he start making a few plays? Yeah, but then we had our drops, we had our typical fucking sacks. Like every time we got any rhythm, it was shot in the foot again.
Well, yeah,
penalties.
That's what I would say. It's like it's not even the run game for me. It's that this offense has zero identity. They have no idea who they are. They have no idea what they want to be. And if they do, they have no ability to execute it. And it's like that we can call that run game. We can call that getting your playmakers the ball. I don't know, man. I understand we all were pretty jazzed up when Jack Besh got moved to wide receiver, but like, why the fuck aren't we just like featuring this dude as our tight end? If that's what we want to do, why don't we put this guy in and have Taylor as your number 2?
Mason Taylor looks like a beast. Like he looks like he will be a dog eventually.
And he's fine. He's fine.
He can't get like 80% of the targets when 70% of the time he's got the drops. Yes. Like we got to stop this. I don't know. Like that, but they haven't stopped it. I thought by Tennessee we would have stopped it and we would have tried some different things. And like it's not like that's my problem right now is the game plans and the play calling is awful in game.
But Kayshawn got him a touchdown.
There's no one in the world happier than this podcast right here.
Yeah, good for Booty. That's a good Booty.
I can't explain. I mean, I was jumping up and down, didn't care what the score was. I was so elated when that happened.
Good for him for working his ass off and staying involved and becoming the team captain for the offense this past game.
I'm not anti-Booty at all. I'm just tired of like feeling like we have to treat him like the greatest super. I just don't care. I want to get playmakers the ball. He happens to be one of them.
Number 1 draft pick choice.
Yeah, and I mean, if we're not going to be able to get him the ball in the slot, why don't we put him back outside and run some of the plays we ran last year to him?
Here's the deal, man. This is kind of a wild take.
Here's the deal, man.
This is kind of a wild take, but I think Kayshawn Booty's stock is not dropping. If anything, it's remaining the same or improving because the whole fucking world that's their only talking point with LSU right now is how are you not getting your all-world wide receiver the football? Kayshawn Booty. Everyone knows who Kayshawn Booty is because of how terrible we have been trying to get him the ball. So like all press is good press. I feel like Kayshawn is going to be fine.
I would say that it's extremely likely that a team high in the draft takes him. I would also say that it's extremely likely that there are teams that have watched some of this film and watched some of these drops and said,
yeah, for sure.
I'll risk it somewhere else. I'll take a tackle.
We need to catch.
And that happens with everybody, with every player. I'm just telling you. I think you're right that he's still going to go very high, but I think there are teams that are going to watch some of this and not like what they see.
Of course. Understood. I agree.
Glad we can all agree.
I will say this though, man. I think the agenda for Brian Kelly year 1 was to fix this culture. And I do believe he is doing that, and he is doing a good job of that. We talked about it before the season. It's after that second loss. How is the team, how is that locker room going to actually stay together? And
it seems like they are.
Yeah. Are they actually going to believe that they have a chance to do anything noteworthy by the end of this season? I mean, yes, I think these guys know that they are laying the foundation for this new era of LSU football. We aren't like, I don't know who said this. I think it might've been Moscona. I'm not sure, but he really went in depth about, when Saban took over in 2000, he took over a dumpster fire. But when Les came in, it was fucking beautiful, right? He had the best machine possible to run, and he ran it pretty well for a handful of years. Ed
He was able to neutral this sucker down the road for a while, for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But he just stopped winning big games. He still had the dudes. He just really couldn't pull off the victories anymore. Ed Orgeron inherited a program full of studs. He was able to win with players. This guy is walking into something we don't have. Fucking Leonard Fournette, Darius Geis, Darrell Williams. Like, we don't have dudes across the board anymore. We have them in places. I'm not blaming it all on players, but there is so much that has to be done for us to be successful in the future. And Brian Kelly is doing this on that plan. He's not walking in here. He needs to win. He knows that. But his vision is long term. And the turnaround for year one is all about culture and expectations and keeping this team intact and focused on the goals. And right now, after a blowout loss against Tennessee, these guys are upbeat. Like they are still bought in. You can tell people, dude, these kids say everything on social media. Like, if you want to know what the vibes are, just get on any of their accounts, any of them. And they're doing, even Grinder. They're on there just telling everybody their business.
Mike's been doing investigative reporting.
That's what I was going to say is, like, even if the locker room's not together, unlike other years, it's not being leaked. Like, no one's talking about it.
This locker room is together. And LSU Gold, dude, I know we keep talking about it every week. And
we should get a cut.
I'm kind of mad that I watched it before this episode because I'm a little too upbeat. But it really paints a picture that this is part of the plan, man. Like, not losing, but it's part of the plan that we're going to go up and down. And we're going to identify the reasons for this loss, and we're going to fix it, and we're going to move on to next week. This is a long season. We're at the halfway.
Yeah, I thought Brian Kelly made a really good point about, like, channeling the emotions of a loss and a win and focusing those onto, like, the right things and building habits. Like, this dude just knows what he's doing. We're just going to have to sit back and watch, and it's going to suck. And I get it. And it's like the people who are saying fire Polian tonight, like, it's not happening, guys. It's just not.
Well, people that are saying fire Brian Kelly.
Yeah, like, I mean, those people are the worst of peoples. But you know, it came out right before we started recording this. I think it was Mekhi Gardner had told the media that they had a players only meeting. Yeah. And it's like, normally, and it's, you know, I like to make my jokes and everything, but normally that would feel like a bad thing. But, like, sitting here thinking about it, it's like, I think this is what Brian Kelly wants. Like, he's talked about this player-run culture, and they do these things with these SWAT leaders and team captains and all this stuff. And I really think that it's good for the team and it's good for the young people that there are leaders on this team who will step up and take responsibility, hold people accountable. And I think that this is going exactly, I get that this loss, like you said, isn't, but I think this is going pretty according to plan as if Brian Kelly.
Yeah, this is necessary.
You just wish you snuck out a fucking win against Florida State and everything would be golden right now.
Yes, exactly.
This team beat a fucking good Mississippi State team. Like, we thought, you know, same old Mississippi State. Like, no, that team's good.
Yep. LSU has the ability to beat some good teams, but it takes a lot of execution for us to win games, and that's the problem right now. But these losses are necessary to build this type of culture. Like, they have to figure out what it takes to win. And we figured out that it takes grit and determination against Auburn and Mississippi State, but it takes a lot more than that to beat good teams like Tennessee. And it's going to take the same amount of effort to beat Florida on the road. But I feel like that learning curve, I feel like the kids are going to pick it up quickly with Brian Kelly. And I feel like it could happen this week. I feel like, honestly, if we go on the road and beat Florida, which I believe we will, yes, we're immediately going to flip the script. And, like, people are going to be like, oh, I see what Brian Kelly's doing now. Like, I understand. It's a process.
And Ole Miss is good. Like, this is not a LSU's going to roll, because LSU could just as easily go 0-2 in these next two games. But, like, Ole Miss is not a world beater. Ole Miss is not like that. I would say not as good as they were last year. It's like that LSU could win these next two games. And then there comes the ball. And then you take a lump against Alabama and you fight back to try to end the season right against Jimbo.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because you have a great shot at Arkansas. Like, I know.
How weird is it that it's like we're halfway?
It's very weird. It's very weird.
Like, we're already done.
It's we're not done, but it's yeah, we are. Like
we're done.
We're gonna be wrapping it up in a few weeks, but yeah,
wait, we're 6 games through the season. Holy
fucking
shit,
crazy, man! It's fucking
And then
crazy.
that's
I
and
feel like
that's
we were
the
just
thing.
in the dome.
And that's the thing. And I've been trying to listen to Hanny and Moscona and some of these other guys. So they probably said something similar to this, but it's like, you are who you are at this point. Like, we got to stop thinking about like, well, we got to do this. And sure, this team can improve a lot and has a lot of mistakes they can clean up. But like, you kind of are who you are at this point. And we're going to have to cater to that. And may have been Brian Kelly talking in the press conference. Like, we've self-scouted. We know what they're going to do. They know what we're going to do. Like, we have to figure out how to do things better.
It's the mistakes, though. It's the first quarter mistakes. First quarter mistakes, or I've never seen anything like it. Like, it's
not that we're coming out flat. We just come out like,
but it's or the ball just like bounces the other way. Like, it's just weird mistakes.
The ball did not fall. We definitely did not get any of those like lucky, an absolute monster hit by Greg Brooks. Couldn't say it. And then the dude almost gets a first down. It's like, that ball is like the Jack Besh ball could have easily bounced out of bounds, and we take the ball. It's like, oh, thank God that didn't happen. Like, nothing fell our way. And I mean, good teams, the balls bounce their way. The ball always seemed to bounce into Tyrann Mathieu' hands. So
I do want to take a little reprieve real quick, and a little pause in the action to give a big shout out to Jason Smith and Zombie Bob for hosting Big Orange Mac and the fellows from Tennessee.
Time of his life.
Apparently the boys just had a time. They were in Bourbon. They were on Bourbon. They were hanging out in the quarter. They went to the game. Big Mac was able to go to the Tennessee versus Florida game, watch that big victory, travel to LSU for the first time, and watch a blowout victory against LSU. I couldn't be happier for Big Orange Mac and his crew. And also,
I could be next week. Next week, I could be happier.
Yeah, absolutely. Tennessee fans, I will say this. They've been through some shit. Like, it's been a long time coming for them to get, like, this is the best that they have been ranked since 06. I know. I miss the Tennessee that thought they were getting John Gruden.
Yeah, it's crazy how like Heupel's the guy that flipped it for him. No, I would I know. I'm excited. Like, I wish that in our lifetime we've seen like a Tennessee-Alabama rivalry. For us, it's just always, oh, well, they get Tennessee in the East. That's an easy W. Like, that's how we've kind of looked at it for the majority of our lives watching football. And it'd be nice to have Tennessee be a good team and be able to give Alabama a challenge every year.
Yeah, it'd be nice to be able to circle like more than one game, one being the SEC championship on Alabama's schedule where they're going to be tested. It's pretty nice to be able to see that.
Maybe it's just social media, but I feel like they talk a lot of shit.
What, Tennessee?
Tennessee for being like similar to baseball.
About the players?
No, like the fans. Like similar to during baseball where like they haven't been relevant and then now they are again, but like they don't just enjoy it. They just have to talk a lot of shit.
Well, I don't know. Was it you guys that put something that?
Yeah, I think Jacques Doucet. Who was that? Someone tweeted like, "This is the most shit anyone."
I thought y'all were talking about players.
Yeah, Brad said that.
So yeah, well, on the game broadcast, Gordy Rush said that this was by far the most shit talking he's seen from an opposing team since Miami in 18. And they backed it up. Wow. I mean, it was one of those things that I thought that LSU would maybe.
Their O-line was chirping hard. And I thought they were like a pretty weak point of the team, and they were fucking rubbing it in. So, yeah.
Is it the point of the podcast where we discuss Harold Perkins?
Yeah. I mean, did you hear Kelly's explanation for that?
I couldn't have hated it more.
Yeah, and that is the theme though of this season, and that's the same thing on the offense. It's like we have a tight end in there because that's our offense, but it's like
you know that I've been as pro Brian Kelly and been on the bus as hard as just about anyone on the planet. That infuriated me.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we're gonna keep Harold Perkins off because he plays the jackbacker, and that guy would have had to been on the sideline covering a receiver. No.
Well,
I can't disagree. You can play him at Mike. Like he's more athletic at Mike. You know how many times I saw Greg Penn get run past at the Mike position? I don't know.
I
those type of things, man.
I get that he's a freshman. He didn't come in spring. He got here in fall camp. It's a lot to process becoming a starter in the SEC and being a student at a like, I get everything. Have a package, have 6 plays. You have to figure out a way to get guys like that on the field because, like, what are you doing? You're letting the other team dictate your personnel? Like, no, we
Yeah, that's a
dictate
game plan.
terms.
That's a
We're
game plan
LSU.
thing.
Yeah, I mean,
just
so
I couldn't have
obviously
hated it
he
more.
wasn't a starter all week.
Yeah, well,
I
yeah.
assumed
So,
he was
so
suspended.
it seemed, it seemed like that was the.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
What happened?
yeah. Is that me? Can y'all hear that?
I
Now
hear
it
you.
stopped. It stopped.
No, that's Mike. Whatever you're doing, you got to cut it out.
All right, I'm done.
Okay.
Hands off.
Apologies.
Okay.
Apologies to the
To
people out
listeners.
there.
Sorry,
To
I was
the
tying knots
700
with my
listeners.
cord. Apparently, that's frowned upon.
It's
My
okay, but
no,
I mean,
it's cold. Yeah, so I was gonna say is like if that was the game plan, it seems like he should still be backing up someone, and like you should like linebackers should know more than their position, right?
Yeah,
Even
like
for the game plan, because if Greg Penn goes down, well then he should be able to fill in, or whoever. And
No, man, that's Wes Weeks.
Whoever it is, I'm just using an example.
Yeah,
like,
I understand.
like he should be able to know that week, like maybe not, he's not the first guy, but like when something's not working, it's almost like that guy got hurt. It's like, okay, well, hey, we're gonna make this adjustment at halftime.
Yep.
And
yeah,
just
I
never
mean,
saw it.
honestly, I hope he like got suspended
And he
for a
did
half
play.
or something, and
He
like that
played.
Brian Kelly's
I
not
didn't know
talking
that.
about it. Yeah, no, he played
did
a few
play.
snaps.
I believe
Yeah.
like right when
He
I
had 3
asked in the
tackles
group
for
me, I
all
was
the
like,
play
where the
he
hell's
did.
Harold Perkins? And he was in like the next play. But are we ready to talk some Sheldon Richardson in Florida?
Yeah, no, I can't wait to dive into Florida. I mean, I feel like that's good. Anything else on Tennessee? Nothing.
No, it's just one of those games, man. It's a I think Moscona said it best. You play that game 10 times, you get a 40-13 route, maybe twice. Like that's just the ball bounced the wrong way. We didn't execute shit on the field. Bad decision making on the coaching staff for putting us in a hole offensively. A couple drives, not kicking the ball, like not deferring. Like there was just so much shit that
the last 30 seconds of the first half, I think, is what really did the game. Like if LSU scores there, I do think Tennessee probably still wins that game. Like Tennessee was the better team. They were gonna outlast. They may have drove it down our throats to open the half, but just getting no points, giving up 3 and the ball was just the nut kick that couldn't be overcome. Yeah.
LSU at Florida. ESPN, 6 p.m. Central, 7 from me. Florida opens up at a -2.5. Favorite over under set. What's that?
Sorry, I was just trying to see. No, I was just trying to think about what time zone your next location was in.
Central. I'll be back.
Thought so.
I'll be back in Central.
Welcome back, Mike. Welcome back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Tennessee has gambling.
Tennessee has gambling. Yeah, thanks for doxing me.
I see. I wasn't.
I didn't say where. I didn't say where. I just said.
I know. I'm just kidding. I'll be in Nashville.
No, as much as I hate, as much as I like hate that we have to play Florida every year, playing a night game at the Swamp, I always enjoy. Sometimes it's really shitty for us and it's miserable, but it's one of those that it feels like
it's usually an exciting game.
Other people are tuning in. Like it's one of those games where it's like, well, LSU Florida, I got to tune in. Like people that are, Big Ten and other things. It's one of those matchups.
Great color combos too. It's one of those really good uniform games.
Are we gonna go alt uniform again?
I hope not.
Do we need to retire the alts for the year?
I don't like the all white looked fine, but like I said earlier, man, like if we're gonna go alt, like let's wear some purple. I
agree.
Let's wear some purple.
I like the all whites, but it looks better at nighttime too. I mean,
in general, I love that Brian Kelly's down to like do some different color combinations, but it's like I also kind of I don't know, time and place. I just want to see like the purple traditional, like you said.
But also, did we do it because they did it?
Probably, yeah. I don't know. I think, dude, I don't know. I think you have to plan that stuff out way farther than
they tweeted
you
it
seeing
like that.
Tennessee's
they were like,
tweet.
"Oh, you have the smoke,"
Well, of course they did. They tried to win Twitter, and then we got butt fucked.
LSU and Florida, 2 teams that are pretty similar.
Same spot.
Yeah, kind of underachieving, and offensively leaves a lot to be desired. They have a mobile quarterback that looked like Sheldon Richardson looked like a Heisman contender right out the gate against Utah, and then since then has been pretty suspect as well. Their running attack is pretty solid. They have a decent running game. I think that's what they're going to try to do against us, is just pound it. Because I think there was rumors of, I don't know, rumors. I read some stuff that they don't really have a backup quarterback. Like they're really worried about Sheldon getting hurt. So I'm sorry, I shouldn't have laughed at that one. That would have been a good clip.
I'm trying not to laugh. I'm trying to hide my mouth behind the mic.
Me too. But that would have Sheldon. If he gets injured, I don't think that they have a quality backup. So they're not really running him as much as they should be, honestly. But what they do lack on defense is containment. And you saw the Utah quarterback run wild. You saw Hooker show off his legs against Florida. I think Jaden Daniels bounces back this week and does what he does best and runs the football. And I think he's going to have a really good ground game. I think if that happens and our defense can hold up front in the box, and I really think that House is going to prepare for a solid running game, and I feel like he will prepare our team soundly. I think we can win this game. It's all about who is going to believe they still have something to play for. And I think Brian Kelly, if he has done anything this season correctly, is he has kept these kids engaged. If they can stay engaged on the road against Florida, we can beat this team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fully prepared to get a Heisman-like Sheldon Richardson performance. Like, we just have to go into that game knowing, like, he's probably gonna be awesome, and we're gonna be pissed off. Like, why does he look shitty against other teams and dominate against us? Like, we're gonna have to weather that storm. For me, it's just like I think LSU, I said this in the Tennessee game, and I guess was kind of wrong. We could go into some special teams points, but I feel like our defense is gonna do well enough to keep us in the game. Can our offensive line hold up? Can our wide receivers catch the ball? Can Jaden Daniels cut it loose? Can we go in and score? I don't know. I think we can. I like LSU in this game, but I'm just done being confident that we're going to be able to do anything.
This is a huge opportunity, though. Like if LSU can go on the road, beat Billy Napier, like that's going to be if we
Jabbar Jalouk, the whole Louisiana coaching staff.
I don't want to deal with that. Like that's go ahead.
I didn't watch the clip, but I did see like it was, Tiger droppings or whatever it was on there, where the Aaron Murray T-Bob show, where T-Bob was saying that there's like pressure on Brian Kelly because of Napier in this game. And I just I don't feel that at all.
No, I think that's more of some of that local media that was kind of pumping like Jordy and those guys. Like,
well, we're really, not pushing Napier.
Really pushing Napier. I think it's that little circle that they're going to have a reason to bullshit and talk. And I think that's what they're going to harp on, especially if Billy Napier comes out and beats the brakes off of LSU. It's like, well, there you go. It should have been
Glenn. Oh, our boy Glenn has so many drafts saved right now, just waiting for Florida to win this game. I promise.
The over-under set at 51. I mean, that just shows 51.5. Low scoring game. I mean, like they really feel like this is going to be a defensive fight. I don't know. And then a 2.5 favorite. And honestly, that's probably what that's
home field.
Yeah. So this is a very even matchup in my opinion.
So the backup is John Kitna's son.
Jeffrey Kitna.
One of the running backs is Etienne.
Yeah.
His son. Yeah.
It's his son.
That's his son.
Travis and Trevor.
Look, speaking of over-unders, the under last week was a no-brainer. That was way too many points. 65.
Yeah, I mean LSU could have helped it out a lot, but they didn't. I think, like you said, Florida's in a very similar spot, in a rebuilding spot under Napier. They got a little confidence going, and I don't know. I just think it's going to be a fun game in the Swamp. We got a good Saturday. What do we get? 2:30.
Oh yeah. Tennessee. Let's talk about our. Are we done talking about?
I want to talk about. Wait, do we want to talk about any games from last weekend? Any of the other close games?
I feel like now that we're talking Florida, it's
I mean, OU apparently is really bad. Wish Kansas could have snuck one out there.
But isn't Dylan Gabriel still hurt? Like,
yes,
he was running the show there.
Yeah,
and,
they had
they got nothing after that.
I think they have Gerald Booty on their team.
Yeah, they do. They made a big stink about it during
Stinky Booty.
game day. Stinky
I didn't watch game.
It was actually pretty funny. Reese made it funny during it. He's like, "What about his dad was private booty?" Anyway,
did you? I know Mike, you're a big NC State guy now. Did you happen to see how that game unfolded?
I didn't watch it.
So Florida,
I think I watched the end. I think I think at the very end.
There's two things that happened, and I'm spacing on one of them. But the one main one is it was like 4th and 17, and Florida State's punting. And there's a guy that kind of comes free, so the punter like pulls it back, and he's like about to start taking off running. Like he starts running towards the sideline, and it looks like he's got nothing but green grass. But I think he realized like, oh fuck, this is a long 17 yards. So he just decided to kick the ball like 5 yards past the line of scrimmage. So he got like a illegal whatever forward pass beyond the line of scrimmage. So it was a 5-yard penalty and loss of down. So NC State got it on like the 20.
That's how it happened. I saw something happen where like it basically gave them the game.
Yeah, something else happened.
Well, then they threw 2 interceptions in the 4th quarter. I mean, that was.
Yeah, I don't know. There was some other like absurd, ridiculous play like that. I'm blanking on what it was, but I just had to get that out there because I laughed like an idiot when I watched the clip.
A&M keeping it close with Bama. Definitely saw a little bit of fight from Jimbo and the boys.
But I mean, you kind of have to expect, not saying against Bama, but it's like that team's talented. Like they're going to be able to hang in. They're going to be able to beat some teams. It's like I love laughing at them and joking around and making fun of Jimbo, but the team's got some players. Yeah.
Yeah.
Haynes King always throws it like he's trying to get it over the defensive lineman. It's like the weirdest thing I've ever watched, but
he's out. He got hurt again, right?
He was limping around, but I think that was more of like we're on primetime television.
He like has to throw it over. It's
weird.
Yeah,
he's got a weird throwing motion.
But he rips it.
A-Chain. That dude's a beast.
Trevor.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
No, they got guys for sure. I mean, that one wide receiver was making some plays. I have no idea what his name is, but I mean, they got some dudes. Whoever takes over for Jimbo next year is in a good spot.
Yeah, hopefully it's not Matt Rule.
He's going
to Auburn. I'm telling you.
Well, he coached in Texas for a while.
Yeah, I just think you'd be crazy to take the Auburn job. Like, what a terrible job that has to be.
It'd be crazy to coach when you're making that type of money to not coach.
That was my other thought. Is like, dude, paying me $40 million, just like get out of here.
These guys are fucking psychopaths.
Oh, I know. He used to be a preacher,
but like also,
just turn the switch off. Just turn the switch off.
Also, like strike now, get another $50 million deal, and probably have 2 people pull the old Charlie Weiss, have 2 people be paying you not to coach. Like that's the ultimate goal.
That is, get you a lake house and just watch ball. Like get paid to just watch everybody else do it.
Charlie Weiss had to be like the 3rd highest paid coach for like 5 years straight of him not coaching.
I mean, Les is in that bucket, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So go to the next week.
I think we're done on last week. South Carolina beat up on Kentucky. Poor Kentucky.
That was Texas and Oklahoma. We that's one we need to stop on for it.
Well, no, before we get there, Florida barely escaping Missouri.
Yeah, but they also had Georgia on the ropes.
Yeah, absolutely. Texas is a good team. Oklahoma is bad. Like that's
a bad team.
Like Oklahoma is worse than Texas is good.
Oh shit! I was thinking, damn, I forgot. I was thinking Texas was 4-1. I was gonna say, can they legitimately make the playoff with 1 loss being to Bama? But they have 2 losses.
No, but Quinn's a good player, and I think they're trending in the right direction. I think he's going to be a stud for them next season. I will say that game was nice to flip it over and be like, okay, yeah, we're not. At least that's not us right now. Like right.
That brought a little bit of joy to keep peeking in on the OU Texas game, being like, well, someone's having a worse morning than I am.
We put 13. We put up 13.
yeah.
Like we scored.
It's a lot easier to make excuses for a 40-13 loss than it is a 49 zip.
The one that ruined the day was Notre Dame beating BYU. That was weird for me.
Yeah, they're just both of those teams. They're just kind of like,
yeah.
What do y'all like? Y'all are just brands.
Yeah, soakers and Catholics.
Yeah, let's go to the next week.
All right. Yeah, I think we're done with last week. We can put a pin in it. Oh, big noon kickoff, baby.
Yes. Let's go. Penn State, Michigan. Love it.
Auburn, Ole Miss, probably not going to be exciting. Kansas, Oklahoma.
Would have been.
I know. It's got to be really hard to take some points in OU in that game.
OU -7. I didn't notice that earlier.
Can you imagine? Oklahoma scored like two touchdowns in the last 2 games. All right, I don't know.
They got dudes. Bama, Tennessee. That's such a good game. Both of those.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope it's at least as good as the A&M game. Like it comes down to the last.
Yes, play. I want it to be like I want Tennessee to have a chance in the 4th. That's all we can hope for.
I mean, I don't think Bryce Young's playing still, right?
I think that's very up in the air.
Yeah.
I would say he's playing.
Okay, well,
which still doesn't really matter at this point in the season. I mean,
NFL defensive tackle, dude.
I completely disagree.
What's that?
It's a big deal if Bryce Young doesn't play in this game.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm saying if he does play.
If he does play, they'll beat Tennessee.
Yeah, dude, if he does play, we're just gonna see the old Bama where it's just like dudes are running free wide the fuck open. Like in Bryce Young's just I hope I'm wrong, but I mean
I think a healthy Bryce Young that comes in, that's gonna
be able to throw. They should be able to throw on this defense, is what I would
say. Yeah, I would lean Bama. I think a still injured, like gimpy shoulder Bryce Young and rotating in dude, I thought that was a baby for a second. Rotating in and out the running back that's playing quarterback for them. Tennessee is going to win this game.
Which that dude looks like a legit linebacker.
Yeah, he can fly.
I don't know.
Talk about looking the part. Backup quarterback. That just throws me off.
Yeah, it's like, wait, did you guys put a safety in at quarter? Like, wait, no, this dude's a quarter. This dude was a 5-star. Okay, cool.
Their quarterback situation is always so strange to me. Like they get like the best guy possible from this class, and then they just load up on just like, I don't know, like a tweener, and then like a white dude that's a stud, like an Eli Holstein or something that's just never going to play for them, but has to be like that 5-star white dude pocket passer that's just a quality backup.
That every Alabama fan wants.
Yeah.
You know,
although
he
doesn't have to bang.
You know what I miss? I miss when we had AJ McCarron.
I miss it. What was the Coker?
I miss when we had a quarterback like
Coker.
AJ.
They loved Coker, dude. Coker was their white knight. Penn State, Michigan, though, dude, that's going to be a sick game. I love that game. I already love it. Bama, Tennessee, Oklahoma State, TCU. TCU is fucking good.
TCU is
legit. They are.
Max Duggar,
and I mean, I think Oklahoma State's
that
legit.
Dude,
Max Duggar. What's his last name?
Duggar.
That dude's good.
He's part of the Duggart family.
Yeah, is he one of the 18 kids?
18 Duggarts.
No, I mean, it sucks that that's in the 2:30 time slot up against like the big game of the day, but that's a really interesting game. Trust me. I'm sitting here with 3 monitors in my face, so we're fine on screens. I don't know. I mean, I can't. I'm not going to lie to you and say I've been watching a lot of Oklahoma State, but like, give me TCU. I've seen all I need to see to be able to bet money on those guys.
I like that too. USC, Utah. Utah's favored by 3.5. That is going to be USC's first test. Like, that's going to be the first time people are like, "Oh shit, are they real or not?"
And Utah kind of coming off an ass beating, like getting their ass beat.
Should be an interesting game there. Mississippi State, Kentucky. It should be a game. Mississippi State's favored by 7.
That's a lot of points.
And like we were saying, Ole Miss favored by 16 with Auburn. That's some
Auburn's going to snipe. Auburn's going to snipe someone.
That's what I told before you hopped in, Brett. I said, Mike, this is the weird weekend that it's,
He didn't say that.
I did, and I said we're watching Penn State, Michigan. We're getting lulled to sleep, and then all of a sudden we look up and we're like, "Oh shit! It's the fourth quarter. Ole Miss is tied with Auburn, or they're up by 3."
No, he did say that, and that's that game. It's like those type of games. You're right. 16 is a lot of points, but Ole Miss is capable. But Auburn's also capable of being like, oh, that's right, we've got fucking studs.
The other game that could be like that is Clemson, Florida State.
I'm back on the Clemson train.
I am. This is Clemson's last test of the season.
Yeah, I mean, to go back to the Ole Miss game, like if I flip over and Ole Miss is up 17-0 in the first quarter, I'm not going to be shocked. I'm just telling you, like Auburn's going to snipe someone. This dude's going to run all over.
You also flip over and Auburn's about to pull away a victory. You're like, that's not surprising either.
Right. No, I just, their trick plays are all going to work. And, almost pretty much what they did to LSU, honestly. But no, I mean, yeah, I'm excited. Exciting week of college football. We're really, really in the thick of it now.
And then you close it off with the nightcap, LSU, Florida. Like it should be a fun day. It should be a really fun day. I hope that we can actually get a little bit of fire in our lives here in October. Beating Florida on the road would just be such an uplifting part of this season. And like to look back and be like, damn, guys, it was a rough year, but on the road beating Florida, like that's one of those victories, Auburn, Mississippi State, like we need one of these big games like this. And I before the season, I picked us to lose to Florida on the road, but I also had us undefeated going into this game. And I had this as our first loss. I think since we have learned what it takes to win and how it feels to lose, I think Brian Kelly is going to get this locker room bought back in, and they're going to elevate their attention to detail instead of regressing. And I think that we pull off the victory.
I'm ready to see it. I that's what I want to see. I would like to see Billy Napier being pissed on the sidelines and Brian Kelly. Everything at some point this year, we're going to watch a game where we're going to say it finally clicked, and it may not. Like it may the week later, we may be in a fight against UAB or some shit. But like, hopefully it's coming soon where that does click, and these dudes we start seeing the potential. I sat here before the season and talked a ton about how there's maybe a team or two in the country that would trade wide receivers rooms that wouldn't trade for LSU's wide receiver room. And LSU's wide receiver room really hasn't stepped up. Like at some point, I feel like those guys, could this be the Brian Thomas game? Maybe.
He's such a beast. It's crazy.
He really is.
Like,
but
I don't know. He makes his catches. Yeah, he's had a couple drops, but like when he catches the football, it's going to take a safety to bring him down. Like he's running through some fucking outside corner. Like if you're a perimeter player, you're getting run over by that guy.
The last thing I was kind of thinking about leading into the podcast that we didn't cover is like obviously the Walker Howard comment came up, and guys just started thinking extremely hard. And I don't see a world where Walker Howard's not the starting quarterback next year. Agree or disagree?
Oh yeah, no, 100. I mean, Nuss is gone. Like yes. I feel like if we had any plans on competing Nuss versus Howard, like Nuss will be getting some playing time versus Jaden Daniels right now, and we're not confident to mix that up at all. Like we had this like 2-man race all the way before the first game, and like Jaden Daniels can't do shit in the air, and we're just like no, it's like you're good, buddy. Like hang tight over there. Thanks for playing. But no, Howard is definitely going to be our guy. I think
the thought of like signing up for this for one more year, then to break in a new quarterback. It's like if Walker Howard's like anywhere near a guy, you just have to do it.
Absolutely. I think Walker Howard is the future, and I think when Walker Howard finally gets his opportunity and he plays in the big games next season, I think that's whenever the stars will start to align for LSU in the Brian Kelly era. We're going to start stacking classes together full of talent, and then you're going to be led for multiple seasons by Walker Howard. And hopefully you have some quality backups during that era. We're laying the building blocks for that. The foundation, the culture, again, is being laid right now this season for the future. And unfortunately, sometimes during that process, you lose sight of the on-the-field details. And when you go up against a really well-executing team like Tennessee, you get spanked, and that's what happened. I'm confident that we can rebound this season, and hopefully it starts this week on the road at Florida.
Your boy Cade York couldn't get a game winner done, Grant.
Yeah, dude, I saw some people burning jerseys.
Yeah, all the York jerseys that they've bought up in Cleveland were getting burned.
I bet on that game.
Of course you did.
Dude, did y'all hear Jersey Jerry's rant that I posted?
Was it the one on the Twitter space where Dan came in?
No, not when Dan came in. There's a different one where he was yelling about Kenny Pickett, like having to deal with this. Dude, it's so good. I was like, I wish that Jersey Jerry was like an LSU fan back during Ed Orgeron's TJ Ribs days. Just having him call in the bitch and stuff would have just been unreal.
I buy you Benny here.
This is the last thing my boy Kenny Pickett needs. The last thing. Like, dude, it's unbelievable.
Oh, anything else? I know you're gonna go watch some Game of Thrones. I think LSU Gold is up on deck for your boy.
Yeah, I did. Watched it before we recorded. Pretty good. Mainly,
I thought it was Monday. I had Monday in my head. It's been a long day.
Yeah, dude. Congrats, man. By the way.
No. Yeah, no worries.
Not there yet, or what? Or no? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Done.
Yeah. Well,
that's awesome. Well, you gotta clean the face up a little bit, have a soiree. That's good.
A little bit, but yeah. Hopefully, I don't know any shoes over under 0.5 shoes being thrown this weekend.
Under. They're gonna have those boys cuffed.
We'll see. All right, I got nothing else. If you're good, we can end it.
I got a few more things to say.
I'm in. Let's go. I have nowhere to be.
Wait, what about Kyle at the Bama game? How was that?
Uncle Kyle. So for those that have been following for quite some time, I don't know, whatever year it was, Kyle brought me to the A&M game. My wife's uncle, big A&M guy, 2018. Anyway, him and his buddy booked a trip to Bama for the A&M Bama game. It's really hilarious. He said that it was a really good idea back in June. I followed that up with, A&M was definitely fucking riding high in the summer. They looked great. And then obviously the season happened, but should be a fun experience for people that are new to the SEC, because in his world, they're still new to the SEC. And this is their first big road trip. Kyle just gets loaded all the time. Like he's one of those highly functioning drunks that I don't want to call him a drunk, but like he can drink hard.
Let's just call him an alcoholic.
I don't want to call him that. He's highly functioning drinker.
I don't want to call him a drinker. Let's call him an
he's a drinker. He can drink heavy and then just like be bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and fucking moving. He's doing stuff, but there's no one driving the bus. Like it's one of those situations. And for my bachelor trip, whenever you guys were all with us, he got lost. Remember that against Tennessee? Like he wandered off. Like he met up with some doctor or something, and then he got.
We
lost
also saw a bear.
We saw a bear. But anyway, it happened again at Bama. There's a screenshot of him from CBS, and it is Kyle amongst a bunch of Bama fans, and he's just screaming with his A&M shirt, like all happy and excited. And he sent it to me. I was like, dude, that looks awesome. He's like, I was lost. I couldn't find my section, and I just stopped right there, and they caught me on camera. So
I have a lot of respect for people who would like to pay to go watch Bama beat their ass. And look, I think great on him. Like Texas A&M put up a fight, like as good an outcome as you could hope for outside of catching a ball on the goal line. But I don't plan to ever step foot around that stadium until Nick Saban's either retired / dead.
Amen. I can't wait. I can't wait to go to Bama for the next generation.
I'm all in to go year one of the new era, like all in.
Oh, dude.
If we play at home, I'm still down. Like we can still just go.
Maybe we can just wear crimson and just boo the new coach. You're no Saban. Just really just get in behind the scenes.
What a great video that would be.
And be like, yo, everybody with me.
You'll never
undercover Bama fan.
You think this guy's gonna cut it or what?
Bring back Saban.
Bring back Saban.
He's getting a player like two.
Yeah, unfortunately, we might be like 65 when we get that opportunity. So
Yeah, exactly. Like football, it won't be football anymore. It'll be the
We
Flag
flag.
Academy or some shit.
we'll be grandparents. We'll just be like, all right, y'all ready? We've been waiting all my life for this.
I know. I just always think about like, wouldn't it have been nice if he was just awesome
It's
in the NFL? Like, how different college football would be if he was just
Oh,
like, if it was just him in the NFL going head to head with Belichick, and it's like, oh, who's the best? Like, how much better? Like, I feel like college football would be entirely different.
it would be very different, and it would be very better. It would be way
Yeah, it
more
would be the
enjoyable.
parody would be like awesome. I want to get to a world where there's like legitimately like 10 teams that like all have like beaten each other and lost. And it's like, yeah, we don't really know.
Yeah, it'd be nice to every year go into it, be like, holy shit, look who's here. Like
You know how sick it would be to make a playoff bracket for the preseason and not have Alabama and Ohio State in it? That'd be cool.
that'd be awesome. And Georgia too. I'm already sick of that.
I am already sick of Georgia.
Like
It's
it's still
Hey.
new, but I'm already sick of it.
We kicked one out. Oklahoma's out. They finally bit the dust.
I know, but
Oklahoma has
Oklahoma
been
was fun because
Yeah,
we all
yeah, you
knew
didn't
what was gonna happen. It was like if Notre Dame got in, it's like we can
Yeah.
all act like they have a chance, but like come New Year's Eve, they're gonna go home.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing about Bama for us is like you may be able to get past them during the season, but then you got to meet
Yeah,
them again, and like it's
at
done. Like
least,
you're
yeah,
gonna lose that. Or
yeah,
if they sneak back into the playoffs, if anytime they get a mulligan, like it's over. Like it is what
yeah.
it is.
They just got it.
All right, boys.
All right, it's been a pleasure.
Over now.